Hallelujah. 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 Our lesson shall be taken from the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 41 to 44. Luke chapter 19, verse 41 to 44. I read. And when he was come near, he beheld the city, and wept over it, saying, If thou wast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thy eyes. For the day shall come upon thee, that thy enemy shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in an inn on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not live in thee, one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. Thus end the reading of the lesson. May the Lord bless the reading, the hearing and the doing of his word for salvation of our souls.
Jehovah. Jésù Kristi. Holy Michael. Mí sí wa bàbá wa. Kí iye orúkọ rẹ kó dímọ̀ lára wa. Ká má jogún òfò. Lórúkọ Jésù lọ́wọ́. What is the essence of doing a thing without a purpose or without a value, just doing a thing? Or let me say, what is the essence of having something that you never appreciate? I've told you severally that the appreciative value of anything is in the usage. A lot of people would have Christ, but they will deny themselves the power of Christ. On such, this text is sending a signal. And to as many of you that would not, that you live your life in a way, I don't want anybody to talk about me. I don't want trouble from anybody. And therefore, you admitted to a way of life not to be able to stand and rebuke whoever because he's your friend, because he's your relative, who will deny himself the power of what he has, the usage of what he has. Some of you are very well talented in so many things. You are skillful in things. You are gifted in things. Yet you use not those things. Jesus today is weeping over you. The worst thing for anybody in life is to deny himself the essence and the power of what he has. And in the end, gallivant as if he has in a consciousness that he has that thing. But thereafter, seeing himself useless even with that thing. You have something you don't use, and that thing is of essence in your life. You are the worst of all fools. This is the thing. It was said in the morning, rejoice greatly, daughter of Zion. Your king cometh unto thee. Now here is the king. John chapter 1 verse 11 says, he came to his own. Go from verse 10. I love, look at the way he was in the world.
And the world was made by him.
Listen, and the world was made by him.
And the world knew him not.
Is that not a curse? He was in the world. And the world was made by him. And the world knew him not. What a life. He was in the world. He made the world. But the world he made knew him not. The scripture being conscious of the fact that the first thing he gave to the world in creation was the light of the knowledge of himself. That you must know me. The first thing he gave to the world. Genesis chapter 1. Verse 2 and 3.
The earth was without form.
Yeah?
And void. And darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. Then God said,
He said,
let there be light.
let there be light.
And there was light.
And there was light.
And God saw the light.
And God saw the light.
That it was good.
That the light was good.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
And he divided the light from the darkness.
God called the light day.
And called the light day.
And darkness he called night.
And he called darkness night.
So the evening and the morning were the first day.
He was in the world.
And
the world was made by him.
And the world knew him not.
And the world knew him not.
He came unto his own.
He came to his own.
And his own received him not.
And his own received him not. Did you get it? He came to his own. That's the reason for his weeping. I made the world. I gave you the light. The first thing for recognition I gave to the world was the light of my knowledge. He was in the world. But the world knew him not. Isaiah chapter 11 verse 9, it says, for the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the knowledge of God. Who is there?
They shall not hurt nor destroy.
No hurting nor destroying in all my holy mountains.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord.
As the water covers the sea.
Wow. Yet, the world knew him not. He was in the world. But the world knew him not. So as soon as he was coming to his own, he saw them from afar. He only beheld them and began to cry. What set of people is this? What nature? How has their nature been tampered with? They have the nature of the wasters. This week, God is only looking for one of two people. The one that will appreciate the gift of God. Not the one that will waste or depreciate the value of the gift of God. You can't have the spirit of adoption, like it was said in the morning, and be afraid and live in fear of the known or the unknown. That Romans chapter 8 said, from verse 15,
for you did not receive the spirit of bondage.
You did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear.
But you received the spirit of adoption.
The spirit of adoption.
By whom we cry out.
By whom we cry out.
Abba, Father.
Being his own now. What's your mindset about using him? He gave you himself. He gave you his name. He gave you his word. He gave you his spirit. The journey is just a journey in order to make you up so that you can become. As I said, in that John chapter 1, verse 12, down said,
But as many as received him,
but as many as received him,
to them gave he power to become
oh
the
my
sons
God,
of
a lot
God.
of people will lose. May we not be part of them.
Amen.
People will lose. Why would they lose? Because in their mentality, all they think about is depreciation. All they can be reconciled with, all they can see around themselves is depreciation. He cried. He wept on them. The 2 times Jesus ever wept in the scriptures, he was weeping for the same thing. The first time he wept was in John chapter 11. He wept over the unbelief, the value of the faith, the value of the faithlessness of Mary. The value of Mary's faithlessness. He wept. John chapter 11.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping,
We are in verse
33,
33.
and the Jews also weeping, which came with her,
Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews that came with her weeping with her.
he groaned in the spirit,
Oh
and
God.
was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid
You
him?
go to verse 31.
The Jews then which were with her in the house,
Mm.
and comforted her,
Mm-hmm.
when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and
Mhm.
went out, followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave to weep there.
Uh-huh.
Then when Mary was come where Jesus was,
When she was come where Jesus was,
and saw him,
and she saw him,
she fell down at his feet.
look at that. That Mary is a very, how do I call it? A dogma person. He loves to follow the how do I call it? The do it the proper way. He wants to. She will love to to bring Jesus. Oh, Jesus is there. We know he is our friend, but he is a man of great value. She wants to honor Jesus. She thought that is what is needed. Honor your father and your mother. But what do you do for Jesus? Have faith in him. Believe in him. All this superficial style of honoring Jesus will bring you nothing. Nothing. And lo and behold, it was so. She knelt down before him and bowed herself.
Saying unto him,
She now said,
Lord,
look at the confession of our faith. If you had been here,
my brother had not died.
my brother would not have died.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping,
And that was the end.
and the
But for Martha, who Jesus rebuked, she came and told Jesus in verse 22. He
but
said,
I know. Then said Martha unto Jesus,
Martha said to Jesus, Lord,
if thou hast been here,
if you have been here.
my brother had not died.
They said the same thing at the beginning. Yes?
But I know. that
Martha
even
said,
now,
but I know but that now.
whatsoever thou wilt ask of
Whatsoever you ask of God,
God will give it
God
thee.
will give you.
Jesus said unto
Jesus
her,
became
thy
elated.
brother shall rise again.
But come and see Mary, the woman of faith, mighty woman of valor in faith, the celebrated woman of faith. What happened to her? She got there and said, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. But Lord, he died. And she cried, and the Jews supported her. And they raised the voice, it's okay. They just made it louder. And Jesus did what? Saw her.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping,
Saw her
and the
weeping.
Jews also weeping, which came with her,
The value of weeping in faith disintegrates your faith. Weeping in faith disintegrates. There's nothing like you are weeping for. It's emotional something. Faith does not have emotion. When you want to talk faith, if you bring emotion, you will fail. I said one of the films I watched, Mortal Kombat. I mean, is that Mortal Kombat? And somebody gave 5 rules. One of the things I loved in the rules: face yourself, face your worst enemy, face your blood. Your worst enemy, don't get friendly with him. Your blood, your family. When you fight the battle of faith, no ceremonial, what did he say? Sentiment. No ceremonial sentiments. No emotional, he's my father, he's my mother. How can I slap my brother, my own blood brother? He's a very own blood brother. How can I slap him in the fight? I thank God my mother died. I didn't have to slap her. Had she been on the opposite side in any battle against me, and they brought it in the dream, I have no family in the spiritual. And that's why the first thing that is linked to the family is lost. Is the first thing that is lost when you translate. Blood leaves you. No sentiments. If you bring sentiments in, your enemies will come around you, enter into you, and break you down. They will break you down. Say, because you know not the time of your visitation. Like I said, this is the day. The time of your visitation is the day, the expected day. He gave you to expect that day. If you begin to journey and your expectation is not on that day, you waste your whole essence. Àwọn sọmọ tó ń jogun àwọn áńgẹ́lì ó ń bọ̀ wá láti wàdé wà ládé àwa ayọ́fẹ́ tirẹ̀ wọ ọkàn mi múra. You must be in expectation, in anticipation for the day. You must walk, think, relate according to your awareness of the day. The way you reason, the way you talk, the way you relate must show there is a consciousness, there is an awareness of an unexpected day. But if not, the whole essence of Jesus coming will still make him cry. Yet once again, because you know not. You see, when our king came to her, she was not even ready. Like the Israelites in Exodus, by the time God came for their deliverance, they were not ready. They are forgotten. They kept themselves as if, well, he has forgotten us here. Let's find something to do. When somebody say, our father said, God will come and visit. God will do what? I guess you are still expecting God. And they saw that man expecting God die. They say, oh, this guy. If you had known, he wouldn't have been expecting any God. Now, where is he going? No, so many people died in Egypt. Yes. But guess what? Only Joseph's bone was taken out. So many of them. All his 70 brothers that came to Egypt. Did you see that thing? Yes. They all died in Egypt. Not one of their bone was taken out. But he charged his brothers. And they charged their sons. Joseph held us to an oath that we will take out his bone. And the Bible only recorded when they were going. He said, as soon as they were going, Moses went and took the bones of Joseph. Where is the bone of Judah? Of Levi? Of Simeon? Of Dan? Of Asher? Of Zebulun? Of Issachar? Of Simeon? Of Benjamin? All bones were buried in Egypt. Hence, Jesus had to still come back and go there and make a mark. For in Egypt have I called out my son. Because they were implanted there. But the root that implanted them was what? Was taken out. What a life. Do everything in anticipation of the day. Let not your faith begin to allow God or Jesus to groan. What happened to Jesus when he saw she was crying and the Jews did that? The Bible says
He groaned in the spirit.
he groaned in the spirit, and he formulated that
troubled.
he was troubled.
And said, where have you laid him?
He groaned and became troubled, and he said, water running his eyes, where have you laid him?
They said unto him, Lord, come and see.
They said, come and see.
Jesus wept.
He began, oh God. He was not in the body of Lazarus, but he was disappointed in the one he celebrated. What manner of ass would you be? What manner of cult would you be to Jesus? After you were celebrated today, will you not go back and show yourself the way you were? Will you not go back and still become what you have been? It's a time for us. It's a time for us to take a step backward and make a retrospective thinking. Go back and check yourself. Who have you been? Who have you been called to become? This week, draw a chart. Know who you have been called to become. Draw a chart and begin to walk with him. That is when you are partakers with him in his suffering. When you take up his yoke, you take his thinking to live your think. You take his thoughts to live your thoughts. You walk according to what he gave you. You partake with him. If you do those things, you are surely blessed. But if not, may God help us. Amen. Jehovah, Jesus Christi, Holy Michael, gbà wá, kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́, fi ìfẹ́ fún wa, kí ayé wa kó lè yẹ ní tòótọ́, lópin àjíǹde ká má di ẹni ẹ̀kọ́. Àní jẹ́ bí ìpinnu ìfẹ́ rẹ ṣe wáyé ká lè nípìn pẹ̀lú rẹ lórúkọ Jésù lọ́wọ́. Méje. Ẹ ṣé.